Hi, this is Mr. Thompson, and in this lesson we're going to be talking about how we can use a number line to understand fractions that are greater than 1. So first let's go over to how to use a number line to understand fractions in general. So 2/3 is on a number line. Now I already know I can do this with pictures, right? I can just draw a picture, I can divide it into 3 parts, and then I can color in 2 of those parts to show 2/3. And I know how to do that because I know that this bottom number on a fraction, this one here, that's the denominator. That tells me the total number of parts that one whole is divided into. And this top number here is called the numerator. That tells me the number of parts that I'm counting out. So I know that I'm counting 2 out of 3 parts, 2/3. Okay? But now let's say I want to put that onto a number line. So I draw out my number line, and when I'm dealing with fractions, remember I'm dealing with parts of one whole. So when I drew it as a picture, I drew one whole circle. On a number line, I'm just going to draw a number line from 0 to 1 whole. Alright, and now I see, okay, I need to divide this number line into thirds. So I'm going to divide it into 3 roughly equal parts, and then I can just go through and label those parts. So I know that at 0 this is 0/3, here this is 1/3, and here this next I have 2/3, and finally 3/3. So if I want to find 2/3 on a number line, I see that it's right here. We're also going to be using number lines to help us understand equivalent fractions. An equivalent fraction represents the same amount of space, distance, or point on a number line. So let me show you what I mean. Let's say I had a number line that was divided into sixths. So go ahead and take my number line here, and this will be 0, and here we'll have 1. And I'm going to divide it into 6 equal parts, which means I draw 5 lines. Okay, and I can label my 6 equal parts. So this will be 0/6, 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6, 5/6, 6/6. Okay, when I do that on my number line, I start to notice a few things. One of the things I notice is that some of these fractions line up. Like, for example, 1/3 and 2/6 are equivalent. They represent the same distance on a number line. So let's say I want to represent the fraction 15/3 using a number line. So the first thing I want to do is I want to look at the denominator, this number right here. This number tells me that one whole is going to be divided into 3 parts. Okay, well I know how to do that. So I can go to my number line here, and I can say, okay, so I've got 0, and I've got 1 whole here, and I know that this is going to be divided into 3 equal parts. And then I can look up here at the numerator. Okay, so how many thirds am I counting? I need to count up to 15/3. That means I'm going to need to extend my number line, because right here, what I've got so far is I've got 0/3 here, and I can hop up 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, but I've got to keep going until I get to 15. So let's extend my number line here. I'm just going to go ahead and extend it across the page. Let's see, 2, I'm just going to go up here. That's probably far enough, but I can always extend it if I need to. And then I'm going to divide each of these spaces between holes into 3 parts. I want to divide it into thirds. Divide this into thirds, divide this into thirds. No, that's not very good thirds. Divide this into thirds, and divide this into thirds. Now I just need to count up 15 of those thirds. So let's keep going. So I had 1, 2, 3/3, 4/3, 5/3, 6/3, 7 thirds, 8 thirds, 9 thirds, 10 thirds, 11 thirds, 12 thirds, getting closer, 13 thirds, 14 thirds, 15 thirds. So I can see this is where I landed on my number line, and I'm noticing now that on my number line that I found an equivalent number. I found that 15 thirds is equivalent to 5 wholes. So 15 thirds is equivalent or equal to 5 wholes. By putting this fraction on a number line, I was able to see how many wholes it was equal to. Now, let's try a harder problem. Okay, so here we have our practice problem. James and 8 friends want to order some pie. Each of them wants to eat 2 pieces. How many pies should they order? What fraction of the pie will each person get? Alright, so first thing I notice is if I look at the pies here, I see that each pie is divided into 8ths. That's my clue. Okay? So I want you to go ahead and try to solve this using a number line. That's your challenge today. I want you to try to figure out how many total pies they're going to need to order, and what fraction of each pie of the pie will each person get. I want you to try to do this not by drawing pictures, but by doing a number line. If you're getting stuck, go ahead and rewind the video and rewatch the first part to see how I solved these types of problems. If you're ready, go ahead and pause the video now and use your paper and pencil to try to solve it. And when you're ready to move on, go ahead and come back and push play. Okay, so I'm going to assume that you are ready to check your work. Let's see how to solve this. Well, I know the first thing I need to look at is I need to look very carefully at the problem here. So the first thing I know is that, let's see, how many people are there? Well, I know that there's James and his 8 friends. That means that there's going to be 9 people. And each of them wants to eat 2 pieces. So there's 9 people times 2 pieces. That's going to equal, let's see, 2 times 9. That means that we're going to need, they want to eat 18 pieces total. That's how many pieces they want to eat. So how am I going to figure out how many pies they need? Well, this right here, this is going to be my numerator for my fraction. Okay, so they want to eat 18 pieces total, and each pizza is cut into how many pieces? Oh, sorry, each pie is cut into how many pieces? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's my denominator, 18 over 8. So now I need to draw out a number line to solve this. So I know that between 0 and 1, I'm going to divide this into how many pieces? Well, let's look at my denominator. I'm going to divide them into 8 pieces. So let's get my correct color crayon here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. So here I've got 0 eighths. Now I need to count up to 15. 0 eighths, 1 eighth, 2 eighths, 3 eighths, 4 eighths, 5 eighths, 6 eighths, 7 eighths, 8 eighths. Not to 18 yet. I'm going to need to keep going. So let me go ahead and I'll put this right here at 2 and 3, and we'll see if I need more. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so let's keep counting up here. So 8 eighths, 9 eighths, 10 eighths, 11 eighths, 12 eighths, 13 eighths, 14 eighths, 15 eighths, 16 eighths. Not quite there yet. 17 eighths, 18 eighths. So right here is where I want to be. I've got 18 eighths, which is right here. Okay, so how much is this total? Well, I can see I'm at 2 whole pizzas, or pies. I'm going to need 2 whole pies, and then I'm going to need, let's see, 1/8, 2/8 of a third pie. So if I'm going to need 2 2/8 pies, I'm going to probably need to order 3 pies total, and I'll have all of these pieces left over on my last one. So now I need to look and see, okay, this answers my first question, how many pies should I order? I need to get enough so that I have 2 2/8. That's my first question. But the next question is, what fraction, let me get my purple here, what fraction of the pie will each person get? Remember, each person was going to get 2 pieces. 2 pieces right here. So, well, how much is that? Well, let's look at it carefully. Let's see. How much is this first person going to get? Well, they're going to get 1 2/8. And then this person's going to get 2/8. And then this person's going to get 2/8. So each person is getting 2/8 of a piece of pizza. Okay, here is your homework problem for tonight. Tyler wants to make some brownies for himself and 4 friends. Each brownie pan can make 6 brownies. If each person wants 3 brownies, how many brownie pans does Tyler need to make? I've already gotten you started with a number line at the bottom. I want you to use a number line to solve this problem. If you get stuck, go back and rewatch how I solved the practice problem for hints. We're going to be checking this in class tomorrow, so if you get completely stuck, don't worry. Rewatch the video a couple times to try to help you, but we will be going over this in class tomorrow. Good luck!